I was trying to start my video here. Matt, the mascot here. I'll be inside in like 5 minutes.
I'm not gonna let you go. I'm caught in your
It's pretty cool to speak at the same place that such a household name played at so long ago. And for Annalisa and I, this is a huge night because it's our first flagship store that we're speaking at with REI. This is going to be our 5th REI talk. We have 7 in total, but it's also our first sold out concert, and obviously not to the same scale as the legends back here. But I figured since so many people are asking us how did we come to this point, especially so fast, how did we get to partnering up with REI in really less than a year, I figured I'd find some of the sponsors and some of the brands that we work with that are under the REI umbrella and share those stories in a really practical way so you can end up at this point as well. But it's cold out here, so let's dive inside. Alright, if you haven't heard of BioLite, they focus on off-grid energy solutions. In Alaska, we brought their cycling kit and solar panel to keep all of our electronics charged and to be a super bright light while we're out cycling. BioLite's a company that I actually applied to work for after college. It didn't work out, but I have been looking for an opportunity my entire life to actually partner up with them. And people ask us a lot about Kickstarter, since Annalisa and I did successfully fund a Kickstarter to make Alaska happen. And what's cool is that it also acts as a PR opportunity. And so we had 3 sponsorship levels, and BioLite, after reaching out and hearing our story, signed on as one of our early sponsors. And that's how we made that connection. And so if you're ever thinking about doing a Kickstarter, realize it's not just about the money, it's also about all those connections you make along the way. The Zeta jacket is my favorite piece of gear that we brought on our trip to Alaska because it just kept us dry, cool, and is an incredible piece by Arc'teryx. Now, the way that we connected with Arc'teryx as a partner, a gear partner, is through an organization that my friend Sarah Knapp started called Mappy Hour. This is a multi-city community that gets together for happy hours, but for the outdoor community. And what's cool is that if you go onto her site, you'll see that people make profiles of who they are, where they're working, what they're involved with. And so I reached out to the community manager at Arc'teryx Soho, showed up in person, showed him Annalisa's magazine, and he loved it. He said, we want to tell more stories, but more importantly, we want to give back to the community. And so what was cool is that on our trip, we also brought out little day packs that we're able to donate to GRIT, which is Girls Riding Into Tomorrow, a program that Leah Wilcox, who's an endurance rider, is a part of.
So I'm Kate Rodriguez from Anchorage GRIT up here in Anchorage, Alaska, and I'm really thankful for you guys helping out these girls. I just, you know, the backgrounds they come from and having the day-to-day, them knowing that other people out there support them and that the world is larger and willing to help out and likes what they do, they just get so excited and get so revved up to get out there and ride their bikes and prove to the world that it's worth it to be on the bike most of the day. Yeah, so thank you so much for supporting us. It's really great.
But if you haven't done it already, see if Mappy Hour is in your city. I know they're in New York, DC, Colorado, but they're expanding to a lot of other areas in the US. Filling in for Annalisa on this story, how we ended up partnering with Pearl Izumi, which became the title sponsor along with Aspire and Revo for the Miles of Portrait series.
Hey Jojo, yeah I know your name.
actually reached out directly on Instagram. It's pretty crazy because there's these marketing directors who do look for ambassadors and stuff like that. And so Annalisa became one of their ambassadors, and then maybe 6 months or 7 months down the road, we told them about the Miles of Portraits series and that we're looking for that title sponsorship. And it's really exciting because they've also already signed on for our next trip, which I'll have to wait for another time to share with you. But it's just cool because sometimes you just realize you have to get your foot in the door and it'll lead to other opportunities. So reach out on Instagram, call the office, see who's actually there, and get in there, and you'll realize it really will start building up your connections quickly.
Give me warmth and shelter, always welter. Count on me. Give me warmth and shelter.
Alright, if you watch any of the Miles Portraits videos, you might recognize this helmet. This one's gigantic, so I'll take it off. But 1,000 Helmets, they sent out product to use and have been helping us with promotion as well. What's really awesome about them is that we actually met them through a trade show. Alright, I've been traveling since 6:30 in the morning to reach this point, which is the New York City Bike Expo. Super excited because tomorrow is the Fireborough Bike Tour. The main reason we're here is to actually find sponsors for our Alaska trips. And one of my goals for 2019 is to show up to more trade shows. Because here in the biking community, but really any community you're trying to dive into, it's like that's where your core audience is. That's where the people who are looking for creators and people to actually bring their brands out on cool adventures show up.
Count on me.
Alright, this kind of just seemed like the coziest corner to have a talk on how we ended up partnering with REI. The thing is, it's not a paid partnership, at least not yet. Obviously, that's one of our goals. The thing is that REI is such a household name that you want to work with a brand of this caliber. It gives you credentials to talk to anyone else. And at that same trade show that we met, 1,000 Helmets, that's where we got a contact for REI. But the thing is, it went back and forth for a long time about trying to schedule when to talk, what it's going to look like. And really what made a huge difference is when I made my trailer. So I made a 60-second trailer and then all the episodes for Miles of Portraits, which required a lot of work. But doing that 60-second trailer up front made it so a team could understand who Annalisa and I are, what we're about, and what our story is. And it allows a team to kind of visualize what everything would look like in a very short, easy to digest amount of time. And that's when really the doors just open from can we talk at one REI to now talking at 7 to speaking at the flagship store, which is so incredible to have it so our community, the people who've supported us, can come out and actually talk to us and see us. We're able to incorporate and share our own stories, which is amazing, and hone our own craft. And I just hope that kind of my honest breakdown of how we ended up starting to work with these brands and in such a short amount of time inspires you to go after that hustle, to find those partnerships where it's a win-win situation, because that's how you're able to live out your dreams today. So if any of these tips are helpful or make sense or you have more questions, just leave a comment below. And I'm excited to see and meet everyone that comes out tonight. So remember that you can go anywhere and do anything.
Oh, yeah, that's what we're trying to do.